Hello everyone and welcome back to a Gran Turismo time trial. We're at Bathurst, folks, and we're in a Genesis, but you don't have to pick the Genesis if you don't want. I know some of you hate this car. Now, it can be any Group 3 car you like. We are on racing soft tyres. Now, I've put difficulty back on for now. Some of you were complaining about it, but I've changed it slightly. I feel this is quite an annoying time trial, and the gold time estimate I've put at around a 2-minute 1.8 for those looking for the gold. Now, if you don't like the difficulty and the gold estimate, please let me know in the comments, or if you do, let me know as well. If you're not subscribed already, of course, please do subscribe. I appreciate the support, and it does help the channel grow and spread the video out further to help those that are struggling with the gold time. Let's jump into the lap then here as we head towards turn number 1. And what I'm looking for here when I do Bathurst is on the left-hand side. It's the end of the building. Some cars you're going to have to brake now. Some other cars you're going to brake as the edge of the building leaves your screen, okay? Depends what car you pick. You can look at it here from the chase cam perspective. So, as you go into this corner, be careful of the bump in the middle of the corner. You want to accelerate after you've hit that bump, and that way the car won't oversteer. Try and straighten up the steering as best as you can on the exit, because if you're overturning, you will spin the car out as well. This is the first sector time. Of course, if you're following the ghost, it will reset here as we head towards the next corner. Very tricky corner to get right, this one. First of all, you may want to brake at the end of the wall where that gate is there, but what I'm using is the end of the tarmac that goes into grass. The second, the most right square there that I've highlighted, okay. That is my brake marker for this corner. What I'm trying to do is stay as close to the curb as possible, but not on the curb. If you touch the curb, you're going to go flying. Be careful on exit. Some cars will suffer with power oversteer. Racing soft tyres do help reduce that, of course. And as we go up here, it's a slight lift as you go into here, okay? Slight lift as you turn in. And what you're looking for is that line there where it goes straight, okay, on the left-hand side. And that, as you can see, I've started to go hard on the brakes. You can start going out wide. Some people prefer a tighter line. Just play around with the lines, okay? The critical part of this is the exit, getting the exit right. So as I come into here, what I'm trying to do is straighten the car up as best as I can. Notice I straighten up a little bit, head towards the barrier, and then accelerate. That's to reduce oversteer. As we head into this right-hander, this isn't a corner you brake for, but these are turning markers. You've got the tree on the left if you want to use that. I prefer the tree on the right because I'm going on a right-hander. You look where you want to go. So as that tree hits the edge of my screen is when I turn in. Now, you can do it flat. I do a slight lift there. If there's only the slices of lift, I do a couple of them actually to avoid hitting the barrier. Hitting the barrier is why it's annoying. Going down this dip, then again, slight lifts as I go through here and continue on accelerating as we get to this point here. Now, you want to lift off for this corner. The reason you don't accelerate fully on this one is the front will lift up. So I use the start of the curve there as my marker. I should be lifting off at this moment in time, okay? If you're accelerating for 100%, the front's going to lift up and you're just going to understeer off. So lift off for this corner, turn in, then start to accelerate through it. Again, avoid hitting the barrier, it invalidates your lap. Heading down here then, this is such a hard one to get right. So there are brake markers in the squares, okay? You've got the Audi R8 sign as it hits the top of the screen, or the building on the right-hand side, depending on what you want to use. The arrow indicates where I'm aiming for as I start braking, okay? I'm going to point that way and then start braking. Brake in a straight line for this corner, and there we go, on the brake. Straight line brake, straight line brake. And that's what I'm trying to do on that corner, okay? Don't try and 100% brake as you turn. So straight line brake, straight line brake, straight line brake. As you go into this dipper then, the end of the curb on the right-hand side is your brake marker here. I short shift to third in the Genesis. A lot of cars do prefer that because it just settles the car on exit. And you can cut quite a lot of the inside, but if you cut it too well, you get a penalty, which is really weird. But as you can see there, I nailed it absolutely fine. Going down here then, on the right side, it goes from a black barrier to a white barrier. Bit hard to see in this light, but you will see it slowly but surely as you do these laps. And that is your first brake marker, okay? You hit the brakes and you drop a gear. And you're trying to get the car as tight to the right as possible to give you a good line for the left-hander. And that's what I'm doing there. And then we're going to go hard on the brakes. Now, I've highlighted this here. This isn't a brake marker. This is where you want to aim for, okay? Brake in a straight line now, 100% braking all the way to the corner. That way, you're going to brake effectively. If you're remotely turning at any point, you are going to suffer with some oversteer and understeer as well. Notice there, I'm 100% braking, then I start turning. As I accelerate out here, if you're in the Genesis, do short shift to third gear. There's very little difference in the car. And what we're going to do now is head towards the next sector. And there we go, we've nailed it there. So let's go into the chase then. Through this right we go, and we've got two markers here you can use. You can use the 150 board, but as I'm very well known for, of course, and you've seen it on the liveries, I use the V in sign event, or as I used to say, signivant. Okay, the V there is my brake marker as it hits the edge of your screen. Other cars, obviously, you will have to brake earlier if it's rubbish on the brakes. I go hard on the brakes here, and I go into the corner there. Short shifting again, just to avoid some power oversteer on exit. Do be careful on this exit. You can suffer a bit of oversteer, of course. We're going to head to our final brake marker now in this time trial. You can either use the 100 board as it just leaves the screen. Alternatively, and the one I would use on every single game where you play Bathurst, the big tree on the right-hand side. As it hits the edge of your screen, that's when you're going to hit the brake markers. Of course, on chase cam, it'd be a little bit before it hits the screen, of course. Going to go hard on the brakes. Be careful of the bump in the middle of the corner, and be careful on exit as well. Very easy to get power oversteer there. We're going to head towards the line, which was rank 1 at the time. The first person in the 58s. Happy days indeed. Let's go into a flying lap then. Going into turn 1, the end of the building there. Just being careful of that bump on exit. Straighten up as much as I can. So using all the exit to really straighten that steering and avoid that bump being an issue. Obviously, you can breathe at this moment in time. In terms of changing gears in this Genesis, you can rev it if you want. There's very little difference between a short shift and a rev in this car. It just pulls irrespective. What I'm looking for here is the end of the tarmac. Hard on the brakes, turning. Try and get as close to the curb as possible before I start accelerating. And just be careful on exit. Some cars will get a little bit wiggly. Going up here then, there's a little barrier down the right if you want to mark it for that one. But as the white line goes straight, hard on the brakes, turn in. Be careful on exit here. Straighten up as you accelerate. Let the car grip, then start turning again. As we go up here, the tree on the right, I turn in. I'm just going to do a little lift offs here just to make sure I don't hit the barrier. It's very annoying because if you do touch a barrier here, it will invalidate your lap. Through here we go. Another lift there, clipping the curb. Continuing on through here. Just before the curb there, we lift off again, allowing the car to settle itself before we go on the throttle here as we look to head down the hill. Using the IDR8 sign there, hard on the brakes, braking a straight line only. I need to reiterate that, only braking a straight line, because if you try and turn and brake, you're going to crash. Braking a straight line, best way to brake. I'll explain it again on the straight, of course. Going down here then, braking a straight line once again. Slowing the car down, you can short shift to third if you require as we leave that corner. So, the reason you brake in a straight line, I want you to think of wheels like this. A wheel can do 100% of something. So, if you do 90% throttle, you can only 10% steering, okay? It's not quite like that, but I want you to think about it. Same for braking. If you're turning 90%, you can only brake 10%. If you're turning 0%, you can brake 100%. Better braking. Think of it like that, okay? As we head in towards the chase, we're looking for that V there. Hard on the brakes. In towards the left we go. We click the curb. Short shift to third gear again, just to save on that power oversteer as we head towards the final tree then. On the right side, that's what we're looking for here. Hard on the brakes as it leaves the screen here. Slowing the car down, avoiding the bump on the exit. Straighten up as quick as you can here. Head towards the line, and once again, that's the first lap time into the 58. So let's go into chase cam then for this final one then. Head towards turn 1. The end of the building there is my marker. As I go into here, do you see that bump there? You just see the bumps. They can really unsettle the Group 3 cars. They really can, so you do have to be careful. Of course, I've done this track thousands of times now with all the car profiles from GT Sport and GT7, and I'll talk about them after, of course, as well. That's a quick sector one, to be fair. End of the tarmac is what we're looking for here. Hard on the brakes. Let's have a look how close we get to the curb. Extremely close as we continue on through. So that's perfect, to be honest with you. And you do have to be careful using the curb on the exit because it might bounce you into the barrier. Through here then, we're looking for that straight line there. There we go. Hard on the brakes. Turn in. Straighten up the car. Notice how we straighten up there as we accelerate out the corner. Again, it just reduces that potential of oversteer. The tree on the right then, we turn in. There we go. Look at that. Nice. Oh, close to that barrier. Going down here again, as you get to the bottom of the dip here, that's when you turn in. And you do slight lifts if you need to here. Just before the curb, lift off, turn in. Once the car settles, then accelerate through the corner as we head to the downhill section. Then hard on the brakes here. Braking a straight line. I'll keep repeating it. Braking a straight line. As we go into here, let the car roll a little bit, brake a little bit, turn through, short shift, accelerate through, nearly hitting the barrier again. But this is why it's quite an annoying time trial, this one, as we go into the left-hander then. We're going to go through here. Be careful on exits of power oversteer. Again, if you even glimpse that barrier, glimpse it, you are going to suffer an invalidated lap, which is really annoying. Right, anyway, we're going to accelerate up here. I normally change to 6th gear just before we get to this hill. Notice I do that if you want a bit of a tip. I think it saves 1/100th of a second. It's nothing major, though, as we head towards the V, is what we're looking for. Or the 150 board, of course. So when we get to the V, hard on the brake, 2nd gear, up to 3rd gear as we click the curb. Again, be careful of touching the grass here. It can spin you out so easy as we head towards the final corner. Once again, looking for that big old tree on the right-hand side, just after the 100 board. Hard on the brakes, down to 1st gear. We're going to go up to 2nd there on exit. Straighten up the car as best as you can. Accelerate towards the line. And once again, I've said it 3 or 4 times already, the first lap into the 58. I was so happy with that lap. I really was indeed. Plenty of time still in there. I do think it's going to be around a 1:58.5 or 4 as the final result. Now, I did say about the car profiles. These are the leaderboard from the car profiles. Of course, this is on medium tyres, but no brake balance changes or anything like that. That's the reason why I chose the Genesis. Obviously, the old time is there. I do have to update it. So if you are new to the car profiles, ignore the red light. red writing there. That was the last one that we did. If you are new to the car profiles, of course, I test all the Group 3 cars. I will be testing all of them, should I say. And we'll be doing the Group 4 as well. So you can see where they roughly sit on the leaderboard. So if you're picking one of these cars down here for this time trial, you may struggle a little bit compared to the Genesis, which is nearly a second ahead in some of these cases as well. But folks, that's going to be it in terms of this time trial. If you did enjoy it, of course, do give it a like. Please do subscribe to the channel as we are heading on our journey to 50,000 subscribers. But that's going to be it for me. If you're struggling on last week's time trial, check it out there. It's there for you. Or an alternative video if you want to check that out as well. Again, big thank you for the support this year. It's absolutely been rocketing at the moment. Honestly, it's been absolutely amazing. And I do hope you've enjoyed this video as always. And I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.